Hey everybody, my name is Sage. Hey, thank you so much for signing up for this series of videos. I thought I would put it together just because I feel like there are many people in the world that are stuck in their lives and they don't know how to get unstuck. And if there's one thing that I feel like in my life that I am not, it is stuck. I do not feel stuck. I feel that I am a person that is highly empowered. I don't know if I ever really had a real job. I think I did once for a year. Technically, I worked in an office for a year. But I spent many times, many years in restaurants and that sort of thing, and then I became an entrepreneur. And I haven't had a job for the last 15 or 16 years, and that's interesting because as you go on being an entrepreneur, you continue to get more and more empowered because you're like, well, I did this, so therefore I can do that, and I can do that. And so then you just, the empowerment begets more empowerment. And I feel like there are some people that maybe want that and don't know how to start it. And so that's what I'm doing here, is telling you how I started it and where I am today and what I think the defining factors of that process were, so that maybe they could inspire you or guide you in your own journey of empowerment or freedom or wealth or whatever it is. But what I will tell you is that if you are yearning for that, if you are yearning for something more, you are not going to get more doing what everyone else does. That's not how the system works. The system works by keeping the masses at a stasis level, to keep everything calm and cool and moving forward consistently. That's what's good for the system. But for someone that feels like they are not living up to their potential, or feels unhappy, or feels like there is more out there, that system is not going to work for you, and therefore you must, I believe, transcend the system. You must move beyond the system. You have to leave the system, like Neo does in the Matrix. You have to step outside of the Matrix and look and move beyond it in order for you to be to go to that next level. And so this is the first session, and this is about my upbringing. And I don't know if you're going to disagree with me, or but this could be the most disappointing of all the sessions in this series. You probably know this book, right? The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Many people have read this, and it was met with high acclaim. How little things can make a big difference. But did you read this one? Did you read this book, Outliers: The Story of Success? This story is about the fact that not everyone can be great. Not everyone can be Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or some great athlete or some great musician. And that is disappointing to many people who have been told in America that you can be anything you want. You can try to be anything you want, which I feel can certainly lead to a certain amount of success, but you are not going to become Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, because that era is gone. They were the right person in the right time in the right place. Yes, they were geniuses, and yes, and they, well, obviously, they were incredibly hard workers and highly ambitious, but they were also in the right part of the country, in the right city, near the right university, and it makes their story less inspirational. And that is what Outliers is all about. It says here that Gladwell noted that the biggest misconception about success is that we do it solely on our smarts, ambition, hustle, and hard work. And he goes on to say he wants people to move away from the notion that everything that happens to a person is up to that person. I believe that. That there are energies and invisible hands and invisible tides that are beyond your capability and are beyond you, that are bigger than you, and therefore it's not always up to you. And so who I am today has as much to do with my background as it does to anything that I am that I have personally done myself. A defining factor in my life is my father leaving at age 7. I firmly believe that my father's lack of presence had more influence in my life than his actual actions. Him not being there influenced me more than anything that he actually did. One of the great questions of my life that I don't even like to really think about very much is, if I had a choice, would I want my father to stay at my house? Would I have wanted, if I could go back in history, would I have wanted my father to, stay married to my mother? And the little boy in me says, fuck yeah, I do. I didn't want him to leave. No kid on planet Earth wants your parents to break up. But the man in me says that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I do not believe I would have been allowed to study privately the cello, which led to a full ride at a private university that at the time was like $20,000 a year. That's years ago. Music was a huge part of my life, and he would not have condoned that. He might not have condoned or even let me go to college. I think that he would have thought that college was pointless and actually harming. So there are many things, but those are just the outside things. The inside things are that this was a great tragedy to my mother, and at 7 I became the major responsible person in the house. There were times my mother just couldn't act. And so I developed a deep sense of responsibility and a commitment to making sure things were done. And that, in one sense sucks as a 7-year-old, right? But in another sense, it's amazing. That's amazing. When things go to shit is when I wake up. When chaos is around is when I get going, is when I come forward. I am the change agent. I am the person that fixes things that are broken. And that's all because of that. It's all because of that. And then I have major daddy issues. I run around people-pleasing, wanting to make people love me, and whether they love me or not doesn't matter. It's a hole that will never be filled because I think it's being filled by something else that I do, but in reality, it is never going to be filled. And so therefore, I constantly am pushing to please people and to wow them and to make them like me and love me. And that is what drives me. Now, what I will tell you is that I believe that I was meant for revolution. I don't know what my take on reincarnation is. I use it as a metaphor in my life for sure, but I would not be surprised if reincarnation was a real thing. And I believe that in my past lives I've always been a revolutionary, and I have been waiting my entire life for a revolution that is not coming. I am in the wrong time and space for my revolution, and so consequently I'm constantly revolting. I am this rebellious teenager, desiring the rebellion, and it never comes. This could be a life of which I live and die, and my revolution never happens. And so I make revolutions. I help small businesses. I help the community. I help the homeless. I help my family. I help them transcend into the next level. These are micro revolutions. But it's not the Bay of Pigs. It's not Cuba. It's not South America, Central America. It's nothing. It's not the Civil War. It's not the Revolutionary War. I just sit here waiting and probably dying for my revolution that will never come. And so while I have a certain level of success, I am never satiated, because I believe that where I am in space and time today does not give me what I was born to do. I also believe that I am the middle child of society. I'm the X generation, Generation X, in between the baby boomers and the Y people. The leaders, the real leaders. I just communicate in between them. I'm just this middle thing. And that is depressing as well. And so while you may think, oh, look at what he's done. He has multiple businesses. He's this leader in his community for helping homeless people. He is a good father. But yet I feel that I am woefully underused in my community. And so therefore you, Sparky, sorry, I'm at home. That's Sparky. I'm working at home today. I work wherever I want. That's something that is interesting. I have a, 20,000 square foot office building on the other side of town. My wife's working there today. I'm working at home to help my mom, because my mom is sick. And so I'm helping her. That is what I am. That is who I am, and that's what I am here to tell you today. That I believe that for some people, maybe you would look at me and say, oh my gosh, that guy is cool. That guy is leading a life of freedom and of hope and self-empowerment. But yet I will tell you that I feel that I have much more in me. And I will tell you that if you, to be successful, have got to change your perspective on life. You have got to change who you think and what you think you deserve in life if you want to change your life. You don't change your life in a 3-bedroom suburban McMansion. You don't change your life driving leased cars. You don't change your life feeling that you're entitled to the latest smartphone. You see, if you want to change your life, you have to change your life. You can't live like everyone else and expect to get different results. And so what this series is going to be about is you making a decision. Do you really want to change your life, or is that something that you just like to say? And it's fine if you don't want to change your life, But I am here to tell you that changing your life is drastic and uncomfortable and painful. But it leads to new and exciting places. So keep tuned in as we keep this process going. This is the worst of the sessions. This is me tearing you down. I do not believe that you are destined for failure. I don't believe that's true. I believe there are enough ways to navigate your life that you can find the success that you want, if you really want it. All right, everybody, thanks so much, and I will see you in the next session. Goodbye.